Experts estimate that at least half the human race is bilingual. At least. Hello human beings, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Cecily. If you've clicked on this video, I want to welcome you to my very new web series here on my channel called American Avoiding America. AAA for short. Oftentimes we hear America being labeled as one of the greatest nations, the most free country on the whole planet, and as a foreigner I want to share my insight living abroad. This is also for people who just want to gain insight on the bigger picture on what life is like outside of the United States of America. All of that being said, I am finally getting into the very first episode of AAA, and as you can see from the title, today's episode is going to be about why Americans are known for only speaking one language. We're also going to be deep diving and checking out, is this stereotype even true? I truly see the US as this big isolated land that requires a lot of money, time, and effort to be able to go out and see a new horizon or different walks of life, culturally speaking. The concept of traveling and taking a gap year is not as encouraged or even accessible to the young people of the country. When you compare it to our friends on the European continent, many students before going into university are actually taking gap years and being immersed into cultures that are completely different to their own. They do have great transport systems and cheaper travel. Just to put it into perspective for you guys, Germany, Netherlands, and Belgium take up about the same amount of space as Texas. So as you can see from this visual representation, it is much easier to travel to a place where it is foreign, unknown, compared to the US, where you can drive for hours and still be in the same exact state. When traveling and taking a gap year is that accessible and that much more encouraged, it is easy to understand why 56% of the European population can converse in 2 or more languages. Yes, you heard that right. 2 or more languages. Blows my mind. That being said, traveling or taking a gap year doesn't actually mean you're gonna pick up a language. However, that rolls us in right into my next point, which is language classes in each continent. My first major point is that most European countries, unlike the United States, actually have a national mandate that you must take a foreign language. It is kind of a little bit shameful to say that only 20% of students in the US from kindergarten to 12th grade actually take classes to learn a foreign language. At the university and college level, that percentage actually drops down to 7.5%. Not only is taking the classes important in itself, but timing is super crucial. It is widely known that when you start learning a language, it is super important to consider your age, because the younger you are, the easier it's going to be to pick it up. That being said, you can start learning a language at any age. I am a big advocate for this. I did some research and I found some facts saying that brain scientists did a study recently. If you want to be able to pick up a language and speak it as an actual native speaker, you have to start learning that language no later than the age of 10. That's where the US is at a huge disadvantage. They're already missing that gap where it is super beneficial to actually start learning a language to be able to pick it up easier. Here are some more facts and figures so you guys can understand this concept a little bit better. Only 58% of middle schools and 28% of elementary schools offer any or some kind of foreign language instruction. And unfortunately, these figures are much lower than the 75 and 31% in which they were in the year of 1997. Why are the numbers going down instead of up? Let's delve into that. This huge disregard for language immersion in the US is actually shown in the teacher shortage. It's so sad to say, but there actually aren't enough qualified teachers in the US to teach foreign languages. The fact that most Americans only speak English continues on as a vicious cycle. No teachers equals no students. No students in the future again bring the problem of having no teachers. And that just continues to go on and on until we break this pattern. Now we're going to be moving on to our second major point as to why Americans are stereotypically known and notoriously known for only speaking one language. Our second reasoning is our priorities as a nation. English is obviously known as the universal language of our planet. The biggest question and doubt coming into the mindset of Americans when approaching a foreign language is, if you don't need it, why am I going to waste time, effort, and energy into learning a new language? Our very limited amount of vacation days and our high documented hours of overtime doesn't necessarily leave Americans with lots of free leisure time. If we are not taught at a young age that something should be prioritized and could make a huge impact on your adult life, we're not going to grow up to think that it is. The last factor that we're going to be talking about today is fear. Fear has so much power, guys. The unknown is scary. Humans like familiarity. Therefore, when people are approached with exotic languages and weird unknown aspects of cultures that they've never heard of, fear sets in. Culturally speaking, Americans can be quite self-centered. Not because we want to, but it's heavily influenced by the aspects that we've already mentioned earlier on in this video. Going back to my analogy of being an isolated land, the US is very much separated. That being said, it's so easy for us to stay in our tiny bubble, which actually is massive. It's another huge factor as to why we only speak one language in the US. I do just want to leave you with some headlines that I found while I was doing research for this video. These headlines intertwine smoothly with the factor that we're talking about now, which is fear. It actually inspired this video to be made in the first place, which is why I'm going to be sharing them now. In Georgia, one Walmart customer scolded another for speaking Spanish to her 3-year-old daughter. This headline blew my mind. In New York, a restaurant customer threatened to turn the staff over to immigration authorities if they didn't stop speaking Spanish to one another. People are acting based on fear, as you can see from these headlines. That about wraps up this video, and I do just want to end it by saying that other than the fact that being bilingual or trilingual helps us in terms of looking for a job, allowing us to compete economically and be a contributing member to the larger world, being bilingual and trilingual is also just very much a tool to allow us to empathize with other humans and understand the bigger picture of our existence here on this planet, us being a community, a society that is connected ultimately into one. I want to say thank you to everyone who actually stuck to the very end. That means so very much to me. I'm really excited to finally have kicked off this very first episode of American Avoiding America. If you guys have an idea on what our next episode should be about, don't forget to leave it down below in the comments. And if you're ready to keep watching future episodes, do not forget to click that subscribe button. I will be posting one of these American Avoiding America episodes once a month at least. I'm gonna leave you guys with lots of positive energy, and I'm hoping that you're gonna have an amazing rest of your day or night. I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye everybody.